Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, September 20th, and I'm Krista McDonald. It's great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. This week on Norwood News, Stacy Lane gives tips on mosquito safety, Mark Ryan updates DPW projects. But first, September is Suicide Awareness Month. Thoughts with H is here to remind us that you can find happiness in the little things.
Who is Thoughts with H? Or what is Thoughts with H? Good question. I would say that Thoughts with H herself is more of like an anonymous type of person that just has a goal of spreading a message. And I think that in a world that things are so cruel and kind of not nice and mental health is not as normalized to talk about, my goal is to normalize people to talk about mental health. And that's who Thoughts with H started off as, and someone who would just share post-it notes and sticky notes with a quote of the day that was more inspirational and to spread kindness. So I think Thoughts with H is someone who just wants to spread a kind message. Thoughts with H came to be first on Snapchat, where I actually was working at a dentist's office and it was like bad vibes around. So I felt like I should put up a quote of the day and kind of just start with spreading that energy. And I got such great feedback that I started to like put it on my Snapchat story. And eventually my friends would just be like, hey, like really love your quotes, but they like go away within 24 hours. So Instagram was somewhat fairly new. Our generation, sounds old, but our generation was like somewhat newish to Instagram as well. So I started an Instagram page for it. And I decided to keep it anonymous based for the fact that to talk about mental health, I wanted to just normalize the fact that these are topics and conversations that are hard to talk about, but doesn't necessarily mean that we shouldn't talk about them. So that's how Thoughts with H started, first on Snapchat, then branched out to Instagram. The inspiration behind creating it, I would say, if we stick to the time of social media where everybody was kind of focusing on putting themselves out there, and I noticed that that's not the best for mental health, and I wanted to just continue, and psychology was the field I was going into for college, and how can I spread my message and have it still be involved with what I want to do in my future. It's kind of how I thought about it. So I felt like spreading a message on Instagram anonymously and not putting my face behind it provided a better energy, because you didn't have to support me, you were supporting the words. And I wanted people to feel like it was a safe space and a comfortable platform where there was no judgments and just pure kindness. So at the end of the day, I feel like we can't help everybody, but everybody can help somebody. So I think that by spreading a message, sometimes I don't know if it reaches people, and sometimes I don't know if people relate to it, but if it's just one person that reads that for that one day, and what keeps me going is the fact that people send these kind messages, and sometimes I don't realize that people do actually benefit from them and enjoy these quotes. So I think to see that they make a difference and make people feel good just influences me to want to branch out and continue it, which is why I started my calendars, because I think that it's hard throughout the year to maintain inspiration and motivation, and especially like post-COVID, I think that a lot of people went through mental health battles, whether they lost people or went through things personally. So I think my calendars go for any age, any person. They are just meant to just help you be on path for a better day. It supports a good cause, spreads a good message, and that's my goal, is to continue growing that. For the most part, I allow myself to find the backgrounds naturally, and based on that, I try to also not post things that I go through, so not make it personal. So I try to make it like a general thing that I'm posting about, and I just pick a good moment. It just comes from the heart, honestly. It's just like when that post feels right to post. But for the most part, I like to find clouds and sunsets. Those are my main two backgrounds. Thoughts with H, when she started, is definitely a different person than who she is now. I think that Thoughts with H back then was just somebody just trying to spread a kind message and just putting some positive words out there. Thoughts with H now is someone who does this all day long, where I am a full-time therapist and I try to spread what I preach to not only in my daily life but also with my clients. And also, if it shows anybody anything, it's that even the person behind the quotes can also go through things too. So it's mental health is something that this field is growing, and I just want to normalize the fact that everybody goes through something. And if everybody's main goal is to be happy, that if I can just help one person along the way, that's really all I need. I would say when you ask about what my goals would be too with Thoughts with H, it's so much more than what it is just now. I broaden everything I do, and whether that's help out more teens with anxiety and depression, whether it's in schools or setting up pop-ups and events where we can just provide people with the tools and skills that they need to deal with anxiety and depression and everyday mental battles, that's my goal. So Thoughts with H technically started in this exact studio before I even knew it, where I was doing the morning news in high school. And I was someone who enjoyed being in front of the camera, but fast forward that, I fell in love with being behind the camera. And here comes my page where I found a way to be behind the camera, include photography and motivation, positivity, but yet so much not put the pressure on it being on me. And for that, I found great rewards in, and I think it just made me feel really good to spread a good vibe and make people feel good without it just being me. So am I ready to put who H is out there? No, but I think in this world that it's not a secret and I have to be ready for it. So I'm Helena El-Dwehi and I am Thoughts with H.
Summer may be winding down, but those mosquitoes can linger through the fall. Director of the Norwood Health Department, Stacey Lane, talks about Triple E and West Nile virus and what you can do to prevent being bitten.
Hi, I'm here with you on this beautiful day today, and I'm going to give you an update on arboviruses, specifically Triple E and West Nile virus. Triple E is Eastern equine encephalitis. These two viruses are spread or transmitted through the mosquito. You get bitten with an infected mosquito. West Nile virus is pretty common. We see that a lot more often, at least positive pools of mosquitoes a lot more often than Triple E. So here in Norwood, we did have a positive pool at the end of August. And we're not surprised, since a neighboring community also has had a positive pool. And what that is they trap mosquitoes and they test the entire pool and they look for the presence of the virus. We have not had any Triple E positive pools, but we did have the West Nile virus positive pool. West Nile virus is, like I said, a little bit more common than Triple E. Triple E is very rare. West Nile virus can cause symptoms that range from flu-like symptoms, a headache, a fever. You may not even know that you have it. To date, there's been 11 confirmed cases across the Commonwealth, and probably a lot more. Like I said, a lot of people have the virus and don't even know it. Very young, healthy people just may have minor illnesses and recover quite nicely. Older people or people with immunocompromised may have more severe illness. And so there's a lot more out there, and what we want to do is prevent any kind of mosquito bites and transmission. Now, Triple E, that's much more serious and thankfully much more rare. There have been 4 cases across the Commonwealth, and one of them actually passed away out in Worcester County. So that is much more serious. That has same neurological symptoms. You can have a severe headache, high fever, and seizures, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and end up in a coma. And there's no treatment for either of these viruses, and so the best type of I guess the best way is to just prevent getting bitten by the mosquito, prevent getting the virus. And we have to kind of be diligent until through the end of September, beginning of October, when we're waiting for that hard frost. So in the meantime, you can take some steps to prevent being bitten by mosquitoes. One of the first things you can do is wear protective clothing if you have to go out during the peak times that these mammal-biting mosquitoes like to bite, which is dusk and dawn. If you wear long sleeves, pants, any type of barrier between you and the skin, it gives them less opportunity to bite you. There's also repellents that you can wear. DEET is a very good repellent, or any other product that contains ingredients that are EPA approved. You want to be careful with DEET, that anybody under the age of 2 months shouldn't wear DEET products. And then young children should also be careful not to wear any DEET products that are over 30%. There's also oil of lemon eucalyptus that people can wear. Again, children under the age of 3 years old should not wear that product. Another thing you should do is go outside and look in your backyard. That is the best prevention, is to really take steps to reduce mosquitoes at your own property. So standing water, they love standing water. That's where they breed, that's where they lay their eggs. And you want to prevent any water that lasts more than 4 days. So if you have a little puddle that pools in your driveway and it's there for a couple of days, it dries up in a couple of days, that's fine. Don't worry too much about that. You really want to remove any buckets of standing water that can be in your flower pots. It can be in your gutters if you have blocked gutters. The bird baths, make sure you change the water frequently. And screens, take a look at your house. You should have screens on all the windows. Even the smallest of hole, those little buggers know that there's a male inside and they'll get through that hole. So you want to make sure you repair any screens that may have holes. And again, the weather is beautiful. We want you to get out there and enjoy this time of year before it gets cold, before that heavy frost. And so just do it safely. Wear that repellent, get out there, enjoy your time, and stay healthy, Norwood.
When Norwood News returns, we take a look at a brand new Living Local. Ron Marshalsea recaps sports, and NHS junior Bridget Kidd has the latest in school news.
Hi, I'm Jack Tolman, Executive Director here at Norwood Community Media, and I want to let you know about our very special 20th anniversary celebration that will be broadcast live on the Town Common. This unique program will highlight some of our notable work over the past 20 years, and you'll learn a little bit about us and our history as a station. Tune in live on Tuesday, September 24th at 5 p.m. on the NCM Community Channel. You won't want to miss this special event.
Up next, a brand new Living Local segment where Jack Tolman and Kiki Thaxter learned all about batteries.
If you are looking for any kind of battery and want exceptional customer service, stop by Interstate All Batteries Center of Norwood. Just head down Vanderbilt Ave and take a right onto Morgan Drive, and you'll find them at 51 Morgan Drive. They are a battery business serving retail customers and commercial accounts, offering car battery testing, battery service, and much more. Led by manager Richard Furtado, they are your one-stop for batteries.
So Interstate All Battery Center is a division of Interstate Battery. They're known for their car batteries, so they decided to get into the market with all batteries to do a full coverage of batteries. You know, we have full variety, cordless phone batteries, lawn and garden batteries, watch and fob batteries. So we have tool batteries, and some of the tool batteries that you can't get, we're able to rebuild the battery pack and it's as good as new, like the battery pack that you bought. Anything we can't get, we try to source out and get it to help out the customer. And we do the full coverage on it. It's a one-stop battery store. Our customers are commercial people, DPWs, municipalities, hospitals. We also have retail people that come in. Your friends on the street, neighbors on the street come in. Word spreads around, they all come and purchase the batteries. So it's a commercial and retail market. We're open to everybody.
General purpose batteries are widely available. But at Interstate All Battery Center, they will help make sure that you need a battery and purchase the right one.
So a lot of people come in with, a certain battery. They all look the same. They think, oh, I can just go anywhere and buy this battery. Well, over here, I analyze the battery. I'm able to come up with a good cross-reference and give them the correct battery the first time. So, they're working on my knowledge. They're working on my accuracy. So that's why they come in.
One of Interstate All Battery Center's popular services is testing and replacing car and truck batteries. No appointment is necessary, and they will provide a free test so you can see if it has what it takes to get you through the season.
So I provide free battery tests. It takes about 30 seconds to do a full battery test. I'm able to determine what the battery is putting out for voltage, what it's putting out for amps, in comparison to what the battery is rated at. I can also check the charging system of the vehicle and make sure that the alternator is working properly too.
Sometimes opening and replacing the battery to your car's remote starter can be difficult. Here, they will replace it while you wait.
So we do a lot of what they call key fob batteries. So that's your clicker to unlock your car and to start your car. So the customer is able to bring it in, I'm able to open it up, replace the battery in a quick fashion, and they're on their way. Generally, I have everything in stock, so they're able to leave with a new battery, make sure it's working when they leave here without any problem.
Watch batteries are also difficult to open and replace. They have all the right tools, and you'll leave with your watch up and running.
One of the popular services that we offer is the watch battery replacement. We have all the tools and equipment needed to open up the watches as well as close the watches after making the battery replacement. And we have a full line of the batteries to put in the watches. So we can do that while you wait. You can actually watch us do it while we're doing it. It only takes a matter of a few minutes. Come on over.
Nationally, Interstate All Battery Center has recycled over 27 million batteries, and they work to make sure that every old, dead battery gets new life. Some batteries cannot be disposed of in the trash, but at Interstate All Battery Center, you can just walk in and drop off your old battery.
Here at Interstate Batteries, we're a green company. We participate in the recycling program. We accept any batteries for recycling. We end up packaging them up, sending them back. They get sent back to the smelter and they're properly recycled, no matter whether you bought the battery from us or not.
Interstate All Battery Center opened in 2014, and they are pleased to be helping the Norwood community.
We've been in business in Norwood about 10 years right now, and we have a good following. We have a good group of people that come in, and most of them come in with questions, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer the questions. It's great working with the town of Norwood. As I've said before, we deal with the DPW department and many of the town departments of Norwood. We have a lot of the Norwood residents come in, so we're very happy, and we welcome anybody from Norwood and surrounding areas to visit me.
Richard Furtado is a friendly manager who's delivered excellent customer service for over 2 decades. Stop by Interstate All Battery Center and he'll make sure you get the most battery life from any of your devices.
I get a lot of gratification from helping out customers. I've been doing it over 23 years right now. As I said, I went for specialized training and learning about batteries, and it makes me feel good when I help out a customer and solve a problem. I consider myself a problem solver. I want to invite everyone to either call me at 781-232-5089 or come down and see me. I'm here to help you. We're here to provide outrageous customer service to you. Anything we can do to assist you, I'm more than happy to assist you and answer any question, no matter what the question might be.
DPW Director Mark Ryan highlights some public works projects currently underway here in town.
Hi everyone, Mark Ryan here from Public Works, and I'm here to give an update on a couple of projects you've probably been seeing going on around town. Recently we repaved Neponset Street from the Rotary near the Cadillac dealership all the way to Norton Drive. That project went, we think, pretty smoothly considering That road brings in about 25,000 cars a day. As part of the contract, the contractor LaRusso Corp was required to do the work while school was out of session, so we did the work in August. Typically, traffic is a little lighter when school is not in session, so we think it went very well. The project came out very well as far as the work performance. But one of the things I want to give a shout out to is Chief Padden in the Norwood Police Department, because that is a very challenging road to provide detail work out there, to move the cars along, set up detours. They just did an amazing job, and we think the reason that project went so well is because the efforts of the men and women of the Norwood Police Department, so thank you to them. You've probably seen some work going on at the corner of Mylod Street and Washington Street. The park there is known as Morse Hill Veterans Park, and right now we're doing some improvements there as part of a CPA project. This was spearheaded by Selectman Bob Donnelly. So you'll go by there, you'll see new paved walkways, concrete, stamped concrete. Benches are coming soon, some low-level lighting. We're going to turf it. We're going to have pollinator garden up there. We have a rain garden up there. And then the crowning piece will be a gazebo, which will be arriving in mid-October. So that project is going along very well. Public Works is managing that. We have a number of contractors helping out on that, and we're looking forward to the completion of that very soon, and it's going to be a great addition to the South Norwood area. We also have another CPA project at the Old Parish Cemetery where some ornamental fencing is being installed. It's ongoing, it's nearing completion. The first phase, which is the bulk of the fencing around the perimeter, a little over 1,100 feet of ornamental fencing. It looks terrific. If you have a chance, stop by at the Old Parish Cemetery and check that out. And that project, another CPA project, was spearheaded by the Old Parish Preservation Volunteers Group, who did a great job up there maintaining the stones and helping DPW maintain that area. And finally, I want to talk about an effort going on around town that many of you have received letters. In fact, everyone that's connected to the town water system received an initial letter about a project where the EPA is requiring every water supply provider in the United States to identify the material type of the pipe servicing your property. This is in an effort to make sure lead is not getting into individual homes. We don't have a lot of lead pipes, but we are required by the EPA to identify every water service pipe material going into the house. Our records indicate out of the 9,000 connections, we have about 50% of them identified. So that means another 50%, or close to 4,500 services, we really don't know the material type. So many of you received a second notice where it says action required. And this is a legit program. It's required by the EPA, and we need to identify the material of the water service coming into your house. The letter identifies a couple of ways. You can certainly call us, the number is listed there, or email, and we can set up an appointment. The appointment's very brief, won't take up a lot of your time. Or there's a QR code where you can do it yourself. The QR code will explain how to do the work, how to identify the pipe, take a picture of the pipe, and then send it to the listed email address. So this project is legitimate, it's necessary, it's required, and it'll just help the town of Norwood identify all the material types, make sure we have a safe drinking water system. If there are any questions, you can certainly call me at Public Works at 781-762-1413, or email me at mryan@norwoodma.gov. And finally, you can see behind me some fall decorations. We've started that process. So look around town. Chip Nickerson from DPW is working his magic, making the town look great, and hopefully everyone has a wonderful fall season and enjoy this great weather we're having.
Now we're going to toss it over to Bridget Kidd for the latest in school news.
I'm Bridget Kidd, and let's take a look at what's happening in our Norwood schools. At Norwood High School, the counseling department held a college planning night for seniors and their parents. They had the opportunity to meet the department and learn all about the components of the college process. Financial aid and scholarships were also discussed. If you missed it, this program was recorded and will be broadcasted on NCM and available on demand. This week, the Coakley recognized Constitution Day on September 17th, the anniversary of the signing of the U.S. Constitution. In 6th grade, students will be learning about the importance of the Constitution and our amendments. They will be specifically focusing on the 4th Amendment. They'll read a summary of an actual court case that involved searching through trash for evidence and the legalities behind it. Students will then be working collaboratively to decide what the ruling should be in the case. The kids in 8th grade did a constitutional scavenger hunt. They worked in teams to try to identify the facts about the Constitution using the document alone. At the Bulge School, 5th grade has been having fun getting to know one another and working collaboratively. Miss Kelly's 5th graders played Place Value Bump to review some 4th grade skills and to brush up on partner work. Everyone had a great time. At the Callahan School, here's some more pictures from the first full week of school. In September, you will always find the Cleveland School taking part in International Dot Day by celebrating the importance of taking risks, being creative, and embracing dots. Let's take a look at some of the dots spotted around the hallway. At the Willett School, the kindergarten year is well underway with scientific observations, readings, pattern making, number writing, reflecting, and community building. At Oldham Elementary School, we have been focusing on kindness. Our definition of kindness is acting with understanding, generosity, and care. During our kindness kickoff, staff and students created a leaf for our kindness tree. Each leaf represents what kindness means to each individual, but reminds us that we are all part of a system that allows kindness to take root. Another way we are building community through kindness is our buddy classroom program. All lower grade classes have an upper grade buddy classroom. An example of this work is Miss Shook's 2nd grade and Mr. Perry's 5th grade. They came together to read How to Fill Your Bucket, then created an art project to process the book. It was a fun way to build relationships. At the Prescott School, classes this week talked about how to be positive contributors to classroom and school communities. Many classes did this through collaboratively creating respect agreements guided by their Purposeful People or Character Strong program, as well as supporting read-alouds. In some classes, like Miss Webb's 1st grade class, kids read a book about being a bucket filler and how they can use our actions and words to fill the buckets of those around us. This is a great message in understanding how our actions impact each other. This week at the Little Mustangs preschool, the topic of apples was on everyone's brains and heads. After reading the classic story, 10 Apples Up on Top, the children practiced balancing apples on their own heads. Balancing requires attention and focus, helping children develop their ability to concentrate on tasks, which is an important skill for preschoolers. Apple art projects designed to increase hand strength and fine motor skills are adoring the classroom walls and hallways. Graphing and discussing their favorite ways to eat apples can make learning about data fun and interactive. The students enjoyed some creative ways, like apple pie or caramel apples, in addition to the classic sliced apples. After learning about the parts of an apple and how they come in all different shapes and sizes, the boys and girls created watercolor still life paintings. Still life painting is such a great way for children to observe and appreciate the details of apples. Learning about the different parts, like the flesh, seeds, skin, and stems, Help them understand not just the fruit itself, but also the biology and art. Who knew an apple could foster so many ways to learn? That's it for the school news this week. We appreciate all the teachers who take the time to share their news with us. It gives us an inside look at all the good things happening in our schools. Now, let's send it over to Ron Marshallsea with the latest in sports.
I'm Ron Marshallsea, and this is your Sports Update. The football team went over to Canton last Friday night but couldn't pick up the win over the Bulldogs. It was a hard-fought battle with a 63-yard touchdown run by Jack Dwyer and 2 passing touchdowns for Caden Sheehan, one to Matty Banks and the other to Brian Dearborn. Here's a highlight reel with the action from last Friday night. The Mustangs will be hosting the reigning D2 state champion King Philip Warriors on Friday night, kickoff at 6 o'clock. The game will be live on the NCM Community Channel and streaming on our website. The field hockey team, they're dominant. I don't know how else to put it. In their first 7 games, they've outscored their opponents 37-8, averaging just over 5 goals a game. They hosted Wellesley on Friday the 13th, getting the 6-2 win over them. Shay Larkey scored a hat trick, and the other 3 goals were added by Morgan Nauman, Emily Spadorsha, and freshman Maureen Larkey. The Mustangs went to Holliston on the 16th and left with a 6-1 win, with Shay Larkey getting another hat trick, and Bridget Conley, Ava Hines, and Maureen Larkey adding the other 3. Emma Penza, Bridget Sopel, and Evan O'Neill were huge on defense, and Ava O'Neill had 12 saves in net. Norwood improved to 7-0 on the season after hosting and beating Bellingham Wednesday afternoon 5-1. They get a bit of a break before their next game as they will be hosting Medfield on September 25th at 4 o'clock. The golf team lost to Dover Sherburne last Thursday but got the Sunday win on Bellingham's home course 261-266. Tommy O'Brien shot a 39 and Max Conley and Rocco Ferrioli each shot a 42. They hosted Millis on the 17th and walked away with a big win 227-250. 5 Mustangs shot under 40 in this one. Tommy O'Brien shot a 34, Max Conley, Seamus Connolly, and Rocco Ferrioli all shot 38s, and Maximo DeLuca shot a 39. Let's head down to Norwood Country Club to see how the golf team got ready for their match against Millis. The Mustangs hosted Bellingham on Wednesday and walked away with an even more decisive win than the first time, 238-262. The boys will be at home against Medfield next Monday, the 23rd, at 3:30. Boys soccer went to Holliston on the 17th but could not leave HHS with a win. They will head to Norton to take on the Lancers on the 24th at 6 o'clock under the lights. The girls soccer team hosted Holliston at NHS this past Tuesday afternoon but lost a tough one to the Panthers. They will be hosting Walpole on Monday the 23rd at 6. Both cross-country teams were down at the Coakley course Wednesday afternoon where they hosted Hopkinton but couldn't pull out the win. NCM was there to cover the meet with Mark Hoover and Joe Pinola on commentary. The Mustangs ran hard, and despite the numbers difference between the Norwood and Hopkinton teams, the Mustangs did not let up one step of the way. Stay tuned to the NCM Community Channel for the rebroadcast of Cross Country versus Hopkinton. The girls volleyball team hosted Dedham on Friday the 13th and got the first win of the year, 3-2. Junior Kim Leah played very well for the Mustangs. Norwood couldn't get the win against Holliston on the 16th or Bellingham on the 18th, but every set was close, especially against Holliston, with junior Isabella Morgan and senior captain Colleen Brady making big contributions for Norwood. Their next match will be at Norton on Friday the 20th at 6 o'clock. And that is all I have for the Sports Update. I'm Ron Marshallsey, and Norwood News will be right back after this break.
Susan Flanagan from Blue Cross Blue Shield held a presentation at the library and shared information about Medicare and how to help choose which coverage plan is best for you. The Simone Room was full of residents who are preparing for retirement, and this presentation provided real-life case studies and resources to help in the decision process. The presentation was great for people new to Medicare and also existing Medicare members. Norwood Community Media recorded the presentation, and you can catch it on the NCM Community Channel next week for rebroadcast.
The Board of Health met this week for the first time since June. Director Stacy Lane presented proposed regulations for the practice of body works in Norwood. The Norwood Police requested regulations similar to other towns so that establishments practicing body works other than massages, which is already regulated by the state, have guidelines for operation. Because of this, Norwood will introduce new regulations for shops like these. Saturday morning, the school committee, along with the Elementary School Study Committee, held a public forum at the Balch School to talk about redistricting. With grade 5 moving to the new middle school, this committee is exploring options to alleviate some of the overcrowding happening within the district. The Elementary Study Committee made a full presentation to the school committee at its June 5th meeting, reviewing in detail several scenarios of what redistricting might look like. All information in regards to this study is available under the School Committee tab on the Norwood Public Schools website. This Thursday, September 26th, Charles River Running is kicking off Thursday Strong Run Club. All ages, speed, and agility levels are welcome. Please reach out to Charlotte Walsh at charlesriverrunning@gmail.com with any questions. On Tuesday, September 24th, NCM is celebrating its 20th anniversary with a live broadcast on the Town Common. You'll see some glimpses of the past and some of our bright future. Tune in at 5 p.m. Tuesday on the NCM Community Channel. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.